How are you
How's it
doing,
looking?
brother?
Good, good. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic. So glad that you're here.
Awesome, man. I'm glad I could join in.
How's your life been since this coronavirus lockdown?
Dude, it's been crazy. It's been trying to just adapt and conquer and motivate the team and trying to stay positive. It's kind of
Understood.
been
Yeah. And I love that you're actually doing your video call from in front of your deal board, it looks like.
you can see all the deals up here.
Yeah.
You can probably read all the assignment fee.
Oh, let's do that real quick. Oh, 100K, 40K, 50K?
Can you read that?
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Looks
right,
like
cool.
50K is about your average.
Hopefully that motivates people, right?
That's right. Somebody here was specifically joining the call because they had questions about wholesaling in a high-end market. So I thought you would be the right person to answer those questions.
Perfect. I just literally signed an assignment agreement today. Actually, it was agreed yesterday, and then we just signed the assignment agreement for a $30,000 wholesale fee. Like literally
Today.
today.
That's amazing.
So we're moving some properties. There's definitely we can talk about like how to kind of like adapt into what's happening. I'm over here in my office. I'm kind of hunkered in, but there's really nobody here just besides me getting
Okay.
stuff done.
Now, do you normally have people actually in your office?
Yeah, normally we're actually I know we have one agent that showed up because we wanted to catch up. We're doing the social distance, but we're still working.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Karen, I don't know if you can see the chat, but they're congratulating you on your deal today.
Thank you. Yes, let me pull up the chat here. Okay. Awesome. Daryl, Ken, we got Lease is on there. Dan, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are ready.
Yeah.
Man, I
Cool.
want to answer some questions.
Absolutely. So I'll be your host, but you'll be the star and you'll be answering the questions. We'll handle any DealMachine specific questions that might come up.
Okay.
Before we jump into the Q&A, I wanted everybody to have a good context of who you are, where you live, maybe why you're even doing this. Like, are you trying to put money into your kid's college fund? Are you trying to pass on a legacy? Tell us something about you, and we'll get into the Q&A after that.
Yeah, I love that question because we all trying to make money at the end of the day, but money will get you what you need to buy and what you need to pay for. But at the end of the day, is all about what is the purpose that you're trying to use the money for in the long run. So, quick background for me is I grew up very poor and born and raised in the Philippines, came to the U.S. Basically had the mindset of what, I came here and my mom worked so hard to get here. I'm gonna bust my butt off and just make things happen. And I've been independent. Basically moved out early from my parents, whatnot, and got into constructions. Just kind of worked up the ladder, just like what everybody else is doing. But I got tired of doing construction. I've been telling myself I need to get into real estate. Millionaires are made in real estate, so I need to be in real estate. And so I started studying books, started listening to podcasts, ignored everybody else. I did not tell a single, not even my friends, not even my parents, not even my girlfriends. Nobody knew that I was already studying real estate because I knew that if I was to do something else different than what everybody else is doing, there was going to be some negative pushback, some different vibes. And, I didn't want that. And I just wanted to just focus on where I wanted to go. And so I kept it all to myself. I don't know if any of you guys in construction, but in construction during lunchtime, all the guys come into the break room and they're just talking about their life and how much they hate it and how much their life sucks. And I'm just over here plugged in with my headset and just listening to podcasts, listening about real estate and how to be successful. And so from there, I've been contemplating, when am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? And there was a catalyst. I got hurt at work, and actually my back gave out. The first time he did it, I was like, you know what? I'm young, I'm strong, I'm fit. I can do this. And then the second time it happened, I was like, you know what? It's time. It's time to do the real estate. And I don't suggest this to anybody, but, you know, I literally quit cold turkey, you know, my union job for over 10 years, pensions, health benefits, everything. Just jumped in. I said, you know what? I've been studying, I've been watching, and I've just been knowing about real estate. And I was like, I'm gonna do real estate. And quit cold turkey. I called up my company and said, hey, I'm not coming back to work. It was December 14th, 2014. That's when I pulled the plug and I said, I'm not coming back to work. Happy New Year. So, and then from there, I just kind of got into real estate. So that's my story, you guys. That's the drive.
Was it December 14, as in like 2014?
2014. So 2015 was the new it was called my New Year's resolution. And that was the big shift for me.
Yeah. Real quick, before we move on, I saw a funny comment I wanted to address. Damon said, did you say girlfriends with an S? You go, man. That's what he said.
This was prior to the family life.
I got you. All right, there's your answer, David. So since, 2014, you've been at this for 6 years now.
Yeah,
going your job and you quit your pension and everything like that. There have been what are some milestones that happened between then and now?
Yeah. The biggest thing was, again, I worked on a mindset like heavily. I knew that was going to be the biggest obstacles, and probably you guys can relate to is how do you stay focused? How do you stay motivated? How do you just hustle, stay in the direction you want to go? And so I tackled the mindset first, but that's the biggest milestone was overcoming my mindset, right? That this is not going to be easy. This is going to be a rough road, but it is glory on the other side. And so I just did that. And the next thing was really studying and learn from the expert that are actually doing this. And, you could say there's a lot of gurus out there and whatnot, but guess what? If they're trying to teach you something, they know more than you. Some of them cost, less or more than the others, but you got to choose who your mentor is, and then you got to stick to it. It's all about commitment too, right? So definitely get those.
So can you give us number milestones as well? You have a board of 6 deals for $50K each. Did that happen in 2014, or was there a ramp up period?
There was I literally had 2 up there in the last 2 months. And I tell you that during this whole COVID-19 shutdown, everything kind of shut down too. I did not close any deals last month. And I think I closed 1 the month before. So I'm like, what in the world's going on? And then, I just went hard, followed up with all my leads. And I had a bunch of my pipeline that just kind of fell through. And I started going back through them. And they were basically all pending because they said they were accepting the contract, and they haven't signed it. So I finally pushed some pressure on them, and all 3 this week just came together. And that's why you see my board pretty filled up. But as far as numbers, I wanted, when I got into wholesaling, I wanted to do 3 to 5 houses, 3 to 5 houses a month. And, it's never going to be perfect, but, we've been trying to hit that. That's our goal. Right. And so at least you have a target to go for. But as of right now, we're doing that.
Awesome. So you've been investing for 6 years. Why did you decide that you wanted to build a driving team at this point?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. It's a fair question. And when I got started at wholesale, when you're doing your due diligence as far as how do I scale and really bring in the leads? Do I go Facebook ads? Do I do driving for dollars? Do I do door knocking? And you just got to choose a system. There's no right and wrong which one you choose, but you got to commit to one, right? And I'm sure you've heard it from other people as well. So I chosen driving for dollar because it's got more of a personality into it, right? You actually identify the properties that are in distress. And when I came across with DealMachine, I was like, man, this just streamlines everything, because I thought about the mailing, the postcards, and subscriptions and all that stuff. And that was going to take another, time to focus into it. So with the DealMachine, I was like, when I found out about it, I was like, done. I'm like, I'm going to do it. And again, I don't know if I told you before, it's I should have bought your higher package when I initially subscribed before you increase the price, but procrastination, will cost you.
Well, we also added the training portal in there now that you get too. Are you utilizing that in your business? I know you have 40 drivers.
Oh yeah, that's so beneficial because now instead of me trying to explain it, I just say, don't start looking for properties until you finish the training videos. And if you have any questions, go back through it and just watch it again because it covers it. And when I subscribed to DealMachine, that was one of the things that I thought about. It's like, man, I have to create a video. I got to train my people so they know what they're looking for. And you guys already covered it. I'm just like, that's freaking awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, glad that's really useful for you. And that's really helpful background. I want to ask Hannah and Elise, do you guys have any questions you think we should ask TJ to share before we open up the Q&A? That would be good for everyone to know.
Oh man, I've asked so many questions to TJ. He's my guy.
Bring it.
I know that most of the time I tell people about you, I talk about your team and how you keep them motivated. And I know that's going to be a question in here. I can already see that people are asking about how you recruit and everything. But could you tell people about just how you keep your team motivated, how you make them feel like they're a part of something bigger?
Yeah. So, I mean, once you start, really pushing yourself to do what you need to do, you have a lot of audience. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're new to this, there's people watching you, and that's, you have social media. But when you start sharing your story and what you're trying to accomplish and what you're doing, and you're consistently showing it, people will start following you, right? And then people will start asking like, oh, how do I become a part of your team? Because you're showing an example, and that's what they want to be a part of. So one is you gotta show it, right? You gotta show it that you're really trying to accomplish something and you're consistent at it. So show that. And then once they're in and they want to be a part of your circle, then you got to share your vision, right? We talked about our why are we doing this, right? You got to share your vision, and then you got to figure out what is their vision, what is their goal. And once you understand that, and then kind of basically pitch to them, like, I can help you. So once they know that you got their back, they're going to have your back, right? And then from there, you just continue that with everybody else. And then with my team now, they understand that, what we're trying to accomplish. And so then they're starting to share it with their other people too. Like, hey, TJ shared me this and he can help me, get to what my goal is. I can help you as well, because now we're piggybacking all this system, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now they can stay motivated. And I tell all my team that they bring in, I'm like, motivate them, because at the end of the day, if you don't motivate them, I can't motivate them. We have no direct connection. But if they're directly related or friends with you, like, they trust you. So therefore, like, get their back, and it's going to trickle down to everybody else.
So practically in the world, what is the driver's motivation? Like, first of all, where do you find them? Where do you find drivers? You post ads somewhere?
I have not posted a single, join my driver team ad.
Okay.
It's all done by my team. So the initial in my inner circle of like close people started joining in, and then I don't know if I shared with you, but
like friends.
Yeah, friends, friends of friends, and they see me posting all the time. I'm driving for $1. I'm looking at houses, and if you want to come with me and driving for $1, hey, you want to come ride my board? Like, I bought an electric board to ride. Like, we try to make it fun, right?
That, like, one of those hoverboards that you like tilt.
Yeah, one of my team, he just bought one of those single wheel one.
Oh, shoot.
I think hopefully Robert's on here. Shout out for you, buddy. He posted it in our
wait, if he's on here, he needs to get on this video.
He should.
What's his name? I'll have Hannah look him up.
Robert Gertner.
Robert Goodner.
Robert, there he is.
Gertner. Hannah, can you bring on Robert Gertner, please?
Anyway, he's a funny guy. He's motivating the team in our Team Deals for Dollars Facebook page. So now he's posting like, oh, I'm out here looking at properties. I just got this single wheel board. Anyway, he'll tell you the story. I was like, dude, that's freaking cool. It becomes it's just a fun hangout.
This is a bonus. I did not know that somebody from your team was going to be on this call too.
There you go, Robert. What's going on?
Hey, what's up?
What's up, everyone? I heard you guys talking about my new toy.
Yeah, let's see it. You got it.
All right, give me 2 seconds.
Oh, that thing is cool. I'm actually jealous because I got the off-road mountain board, but his is single wheel.
What do you call that thing?
What's that?
What do you call that thing?
Oh, this is a one wheel.
A one wheel. One wheeling for dollars. Now, I want to hear the full story. Have you always wanted one of these? Were you getting tired walking?
Well, I got tired of not being able to stop when I wanted to in the middle of a road and take a picture.
Yeah.
So I figured I would do it the fun way and just ride down the sidewalk and stop whenever I wanted.
Yeah.
Have you actually done it while using DealMachine?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did like 63 properties the other day.
Yeah, that was yesterday, actually. I was creeping around. It's definitely dangerous, so I definitely ate some gravel once or twice. So it's a learning process, but it's just another tool to the system we can add to make things more fun. And,
Definitely makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Hey, tell us about that Facebook group. Did you start this Facebook group?
Yeah, so we started the Facebook group Team Deals for Dollars. One, to kind of update everybody with whose deals are we following up with, who do we have that has the potential of getting under contract. And then once we have it under contract, we also update, hey, we got one under contract. Now the next step is assigning it to a cash buyer. So they kind of know what the next step is. It keeps them motivated because and I even created a post so where, hey, we're going to play a game. Whoever can guess who the next deal is going to be wins $500, just to keep them involved. Right. So we have a few deals on the board and, I haven't really shared with them yet, but they're going to get an updated post and they're going to be like, oh my God, I picked him. I knew he was going to be this next person that's going to find the next deal. So whoever picked it, they're going to get paid $500. And
that's amazing. So what I heard you just say is that you are transparent with all of your drivers and they know what's happening at each stage of the process, including assigning a buyer, because that keeps them involved.
Correct.
It's the opposite of what I hear so often. People don't share any information with their drivers and then they fizzle out because they think they're submitting properties into a black hole and they're not motivated to keep submitting properties when they're not hearing updates, seeing what's going on or getting paid. So I just wanted everybody to hear that because you are doing it right. You're being transparent and it's keeping everyone moving in the same direction and excited.
Right. And that's another thing too, is on the app, when you pull up a property, even when I get a call that says, hey, I just want to be removed from the list, I type it on there, I tag the driver, I said, hey, this homeowner called and they just want to be removed off the list. Let's find another deal. It just keeps them on the edge, oh my God, that was close,
Robert, have you had a deal closed yet?
I have not. At the beginning of this month, we were super close. It was exciting, but each step is closer. I'm fine with the no. Each no is closer to a yes. And like you said, he puts notes in saying, hey, this owner contacted, want to be removed from the list, or hey, I have an appointment coming up. Just anything like that. Those do help, and it's coming. It's a numbers game.
It's a matter of time.
And consistency is key.
So, Robert, how long have you been adding properties, and how many properties have you added so far?
I've been with the team for 4 or 5 months, and I kind of started off slow and then started ramping it up recently, and I have about 1,850 added.
Wow, that's a lot of properties.
It's not bad.
So one thing I want to pause and talk about there is in a market like Seattle, where what's the average home price? On a wholesale deal where you're making $50,000, what is the average price of that property? What is the investor buying it for?
Oh,
total
250 or 300.
250 or 300. That's your rundown, right? Those are the
rundown,
houses worth what a really nice house is here in Indiana.
400 to 500.
Yeah. And so a lot of people ask, can you do this in a high price market? And I noticed that he added 1,800 leads, which is a lot of leads. It's way more than what we recommend is the minimum. And so I would go to say like the reason for that is because you're in Seattle, it does take more leads. You know, the reward's bigger, but you've got to do more marketing in order to get one.
Correct. Yeah, that's the thing is there's so many wholesalers here in Seattle, Tacoma. It's a tough competition, but at the same time, it's like you got to cut through all the noise, right? You got to continue to market. You got to spend the money. You got to be consistent to get a deal. And you know, I've seen a lot of different wholesalers in here that they think they can just get a deal, you know, right away, and you know they fizzle out because they're not consistent. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you have your driving? How many deals have you done driving for dollars so far?
Oh, I'm about to pull that up. Let me see.
Your more recent Facebook post said 4 deals, 127,000, but that was over a month ago.
Yeah, that was over a month ago. I would say like closer to 10 now. You know, because I think
it was more than
the update.
What's that?
The update on the revenue wise, on the profit, I think we're over 200,000.
And you track that in your DealMachine account.
Yeah.
You enter the actual wholesale fee.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. How many total properties do you actually have in DealMachine right now?
Oh man, I'm gonna pull it up right now. I think it's
about 9,500.
About 9,500. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay. So did you get the deal count as well? Just so we can break it down.
The deal count? Yeah, let me pull it up. And then I'm going to be updating it too because we just have officially two signed contracts, assigned contracts. So that's going to be updated. So total properties is, let me see here.
Yeah, 9,800.
9,800.
Yeah.
And then
so I saw 57,000 mailers.
There we go. So
okay, so invested 31,000, made 212,000.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. There you are for those of you that want to see the numbers. That's really helpful to see, especially in a high dollar market like that.
There you go. The miles driven.
Miles driven, 488 miles. Hours. Can't see the miles, but that's a lot of hours.
Yeah, hours. There we go.
Yeah. We got the hours, but I couldn't see the miles. That's okay.
Okay. Oh, the miles, about 2,000 miles.
Awesome. I love the numbers. I love seeing the numbers. Thank you for sharing those with me.
Yeah, and then we have like a dozen of follow-up, like people that we're not interested or we're not ready to sell yet, but we are considering it. Like we have a bunch of those. You know, all the ones that we've closed so far, like cherries, right? Hey, give me an offer. I'm ready to sell. Like super motivated.
Yeah.
And all the maybes are massages.
Yep.
They'll come around, especially with what's happening. So
Robert, you're due for a deal. You're due for a deal soon.
I'm very due for a deal, but I'm not worried about it. Just putting in more numbers. That's it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let Robert. Do you have any final words of advice or anything that you'd like to wisdom that you'd like to share, and then we'll go transition into the Q&A. Maybe we'll bring you back on.
5 deals, 10 deals is 10 deals is 10 deals. Add them when you see them. Put in a little bit of time, a little bit every day will add up, and soon you'll have 1,800 on your list. And you just sit back and wait while you're driving at the same time to find more houses, and then that's it.
What do you look for? That might be cool to share.
Here it's pretty darn rainy here, and so peeling paint, gutters, roofs, they get pretty damaged. So if you can see some wear and tear, looks 5 or 6 years old, they're not really taking care of it, then definitely add those. And overgrown bushes and trees and stuff for sure, because it's pretty green around here. So those are my big catches.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Robert. Appreciate you being on the video with us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Robert.
So we've had a bunch of questions come in, and I realized I was actually hogging all your time, TJ. So thanks for letting me do that. Yeah, but I wanted to actually get some people asking some questions. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Got a lot of support. A lot of people here like you.
Awesome. I'm glad. Let's make some money. Join our team.
Hannah, can you bring on Adam K? I'm not sure. Adam K. That's his name.
Hello?
Adam?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, but we cannot see you.
Oh, start my video. All right.
How you doing, Adam?
What's going on? How are you?
Good.
Awesome.
So, me and my buddies, we're down in the Tampa, Florida, Clearwater area, down in Pinellas County, Hillsborough County. We've closed 3 deals in about 2 months, but we're just kind of scrounging for buyers right now. They worked for commercial, and my buddy Andrew and Raph, they worked for New Western Acquisition over in Tampa, and they ended up leaving just to see what else they could do. They thought they could do it better on their own, and they brought me in, and we've been doing all right, but we just want to figure out, what's a good way to get buyers. And we were going on Facebook, Craigslist, whatever we could do to figure out how to get some buyers. So are there any recommendations you have for building our buyers list and, finding the ones that'll stick?
Right. So finding buyers is easy, to be honest with you, as long as you have the deal. I don't know what your market's criteria is, as far as like, you have to understand where your buyers numbers are at. I mean, it helps for me because I used to flip houses as well, but you understand that, right?
Of course. Yeah, we always ask, once we find someone, we only have like 12 or 13 people that told us they would like to buy with us again, but we asked them, price range, foundation, single family, multi, stuff like that. But
so let me share this with you. This is my buyer questionnaire. I don't know if you can see that.
Yes. Okay. I can see that.
Buyer. I got a seller questionnaire and I got buyer questionnaire. This is like my one page. I give it to my acquisition guy or whoever's calling or filtering buyers and sellers. Like, this is the template that they look at, and then they flow their conversation through. But on this one, it's just a basic questions. But this is just a filter. But your question was like, how do you find buyers? Your real estate community, like on Facebook, you already know where they're at, right? Join every single one, and then you can really pay attention to who's really doing work and buying properties in that area. But if you don't have that, the next thing to do is filter. Like, you can go buy a list of like cash buyers and then start calling them, right?
Yeah. I forget the website. I saw it online, but there's you can go by zip code and whatnot, and then it'll show you who's bought in that zip code, and you can buy the list. I think they were selling a list of like a couple thousand people for like $150. So we were thinking of doing that, but obviously I want to see what you'd say.
So here's another thing too, is like, if you join those Facebook groups in your local area, like, get to know the admin, whoever created that page, and make sure you ask them like, hey, is it okay if I post like, hey, I'm looking at another property here in whatever city. This is coming soon as a wholesale deal. If you're interested, drop your email below and I'll email it to you. And your email list will just build up.
Yeah, of course. All right.
Yeah. Another tip, and hopefully everybody benefits this too, is on your group, on your search bar, type in any keywords like off-market deal in whatever its area.
Yeah.
There will be people that had posted in the past that were interested in buying in that area, and all you do is pull their email, and then message them and get to know them.
All right. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I just was wondering, the easiest way to go about doing it. So that
would be the easiest way, but definitely connect with them and build that relationship.
Of course. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you letting me ask my question.
Yeah, you're welcome. Definitely. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you. Love your app and love your story, TJ. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
Okay. There's a lot of questions.
All right. Jeff Silver wants to know, can you bring Jeff Silver on, Hannah? He's got a question about hiring drivers.
Oh yeah. That's a great question. I think I saw somebody else ask that. How do you compensate your drivers?
Ernesto also wants to know, like, how many dollars does it take to get started and see results with DealMachine in Seattle? Do you remember how much you had invested when you saw that first deal pop?
I mean, to be honest with you, you're either gonna get lucky or you're gonna get the longer term side of it. It just really depends, you know. Luck is also part of this game, but consistency and perseverance is really what
levels out the luck. Yeah.
Yep. So it levels up with the luck, but for me, I got lucky because when I started getting into this, I found a property and immediately turned into a deal. Right. I mean, it was like number 50 or something like that. And by then, after that deal, it took another month or two to like get another deal, but that sustained me. But imagine if I didn't get that deal, that would have cut me out, you know, much sooner. But so you have to be, I guess, strategic about what you have available as far as like, you know, capital to invest into the postcards and whatnot. And your other option is low cost, which is like bandit signs and door knocking. You just got to do what's necessary to get you that one deal, because that one deal is going to catapult you to go to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. But the challenge is you don't know when and how long can you sustain it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth of it.
Absolutely. How you doing, Jeff? Looks like you're muted there.
No
Boom,
sound.
there we go. You should be able to hear me now.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks, TJ, for sharing all of this. So I sent in a couple of questions, actually. So the first one was just on drivers, and you did cover some of it on, you know, just where you find them, how you're training them, how you pay them, and probably your best tip just on how to manage them, or, you know, your best advice on, you know, them overall, just as far as getting your team going the best you can.
Yeah. So in the beginning, I was really pushing. I was requiring them to hit a goal of 250 houses a week. And as we grew and grew, it was kind of hard to keep up. So I had to scale them down to, like, you know, minimum 50 a week, because not everybody's full time, you know, people's got life, right? And
right.
So the way I could motivate them is just basically, you know, give them a target. And then, you know, like if they can accomplish that, or depending on how they attack that target, were they like consistent at it, or were they procrastinating and making up excuses? And so if they're really pushing it, like Robert, for example, like he's cranking properties. So I'm on top of him just to make sure that I'm giving him the attention that he needs in the training, or answer all his questions. But everybody else that adds like 1, 2, or 3 properties a month, and I'm just like, once in a while I'll check up on him, like, hey, how's it going? You know, I don't really put much attention to it, but I focus on somebody that's super motivated already, because then I kind of use that as like, hey, look, I'm helping everybody else. If you do what he's doing, like, I'll dedicate my time to you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in my experience, there is a management piece of it for sure, but actually starting with like the hiring process, who you're actually picking is a huge component of if they stay around and if they stay motivated. The best driver I ever had wanted to drive around and look at properties before I ever talked to her. So as you can imagine, that was the perfect job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once they pass your filter of like, you see there's a motivation and consistency there, put some more time into them, like really focus in, like, hey, how can I help you? Like, what else do you need? Like, what else do you want to learn? Like, you know, where do you see yourself like a month from now? Do you want to learn more about real estate, fix and flip? Like, what else? So that way you can help them. And then when you do that, and you also publicly post it on your group, everybody else catches on. I'm like, oh man, like this guy's doing so much, and TJ is giving them all the attention. Like, I want that. I want to do that too.
Right. Okay.
The Facebook group's an amazing thing that you've done, TJ.
Does anybody else have
that's
that?
a good idea.
I don't know, Lease, have you ever heard of another person making a Facebook group for their drivers?
So I literally push everyone. I always talk about TJ anytime I talk about building a street team. I say, listen, we have this guy. And what's great is TJ put me actually in the group, and I love it because I get to help them as well. And David has let me do that as well, being very hands-on. So that way, you know, I see them growing. And TJ does, like, he'll post like success videos and I'm like, man, I wish I was in Seattle. I could drive for TJ. But no, I usually, and TJ's been so great at letting me show his group too to other enterprise members that want to scale so that they can see. And I said, just literally start finding them on Facebook, put them in there, post inspirational quotes, get them out there. And no, I literally use TJ as like my pillar of, this is how you should build a really energizing, energetic like team. They're all so into it. And I posted this webinar in his group on his page, and everyone was like, yeah, like I'm going to be there. Like you saw, he already had a couple of his people on here already. So I just love the camaraderie they have. It's very much a family feel like we have at DealMachine.
Love it. Thanks, Elise. Jeff, what were some of your other questions?
Yeah, so just one more along that subject. So are you with your drivers, are you doing like a percentage or like a flat fee per deal that is closed on, or how do you handle that?
That's a great question. It's a percentage, and some people might be shocked by this, but I give my drivers 20% of the assignment fee, 20%. And I look at it this way: is like without your drivers, you're gonna have to do all the work, and you can't do all the work. So therefore, compensate the front end, because the front end is what brings in the deal. So it doesn't cost you anything up front, but you reward them big when they find a deal. That deal doesn't come around without that one person finding it. So therefore, make it count.
I like it. Okay.
I think that's such an important piece of scaling is you've got to hire people to free up your time to do the other things only you can do. And that would be talking with the sellers and closing the deal.
Yep.
Right? Because you've got the buyer relationships, how to do the acquisition. And then what you've done is you've outsourced what was taking up most of your time before that you necessarily don't have to do yourself, which is driving.
Yeah. And here's another crazy part too is like my top producing drivers, remember, I'm putting time into them now. So I'm teaching them how to analyze the deals, how to comp them, how to do that, because I'm moving them up the ladder, right? So now literally when I get a deal and it's theirs, I literally just say, hey, we got a property and you added this one. This is going to be your deal. Run the comps for me real quick and tell me what we should offer, because I've already trained them on that. So now they'll come back to me and say, hey, I think we should offer this, and now like, I don't even I trust their numbers now because I've compared it so many times. I'm like, you're on the right track. So your number is there. So let's go ahead and, submit the offer. And sometimes I'll have them call the sellers. I'm like, hey, look, call the sellers and do exactly what I trained you on the scripts and whatnot. And they're excited because now it's them. It's becoming them, because at the end of the day, I want them to be able to sustain themselves. Like anything could happen to me, but I don't want to leave them behind when that does happen, right? They want to feel like you're actually bringing them up, not just because you're using them for finding your deals and making money. Like now they can do it on their own if they choose to, but at the end of the day, loyalty will stay when you put in that time.
Definitely. I like that. Very good. Okay. Yeah. And then I just had one other question around the actual postcards. So you're mailing out, right, the postcards, right? You're getting these addresses, sending those out. Have you found like a specific number of days that works best for you? Send them out like every 10, once a month? Can you talk a little bit about that?
To be honest with you, I just have everything on default, whatever DealMachine already has. I mean, these guys spend a ton of money on their research and development on what works. And they're collecting data from all these other top producers all around different states. And they're working based on those data. So therefore, I just leave the default. Mine sends out every 21 days. And then all the template that they have, I have different ones sending every time it goes out. So every 21 days, a new mailer goes out. It's a different template. And there's 6 of them that I put together. And I believe you can create as many as you want if you're an enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And do you ever take anyone out of the postcard mailing and put them into like a phone follow-up after like 6 months if you don't hear from them, or? Yeah,
so I've just recently updated all the properties that I've had and have been mailed 8 times, because on average I get about the 4th postcard. That's when they'll call, And then the 7th or 8th, they'll call me and say, remove me from my list. And there's very far and few, and the rest just doesn't even call. So therefore, I remove them from the automatic mailing. And from there, it's going to go into the next layer of somebody else physically has to filter these leads and follow up with them, call them, email them, text them, whatever, door knock it. So that's going to be the next layer.
Oh, right on. Great stuff, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right, Hannah, I was wondering if you could bring on Lee Kralovec next. Lee Kralovec is in Deer Valley, Utah. When did you build your driving for dollars team? When did you start with DealMachine?
Oh man, I started off with one that was back in like August, I believe. August is when I was like, oh, like, cause it was like the basic, right? It's like you can add up to 3. I'm like, oh, maybe I can bring in my buddy Jose, and Jose has been one of the top guys. He's like, he has the most property in DealMachine, like over 2,000 or something. But so I got him excited, and from there, just kind of like, oh, I can add 3, and then from there, I got capped out. I'm like, I got to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was back in August.
So that was a question from Dan Bryan, and now we've got Lee Kralovec. Am I saying your last name correctly?
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
Hey.
You know what? I wish I was on the beach with you right now.
Right?
That is the Great Salt Lake.
Okay.
Here in Utah.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yes, thank you. I would like to, there's a couple of questions. I would like to travel. And I love history. I want to go to a lot of history museums. I'd like to be able to travel and find deals. And I know how to find, there's investors everywhere. Is that feasible? To be kind of a bird dog.
Doing this remotely? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm in Parks, Utah right now. I want to go to Boise, Idaho, as an example, and start finding deals and spend half a day finding deals, and then half a day doing, going wherever I want for history.
Yeah,
research.
that is a great question. Currently, we're not out of state yet as far as doing a virtual wholesaling. My reason is like I want to structure the team here like solid to where I can physically remove myself and it can operate smoothly. And then I'll be ready to go out of state and build a team there, which I have a lot of different connections in other states, but I don't want to expand out to where it overwhelms me and I can't handle those leads because you put in so much time and invested, energy into it. And I don't want to be lack of attention to that particular lead that you bring in because it'd be unfair to you.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm looking for a really good acquisition guy that is really good on the phone and negotiation. Once I get that in place, then we can expand out. But as of right now, there's only me and a few other guys that can kind of handle the volume. And we're already growing faster than I can keep up with. It's a good problem to have, right? But I don't want to miss a lead that you added because of my lack of attention.
Okay, thank you. So how are you doing the high end? Are you doing high end market? $500,000?
High end to us is like $1 million or more. But here in Seattle, Tacoma, like $1 million property is like a fixer upper.
Okay.
So that's, I guess, considered high end. But high end to me means luxury, like more of a waterfront and stuff like that. Now we don't really touch those just because our buyer community is not in that. We don't have a lot of it. I'm not saying we don't, but there's not enough to sustain it, to focus on it. Does that make sense?
Okay, got it. That's my question. I understand.
So we go with bread and butter.
Okay. Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Lee. Thank you. Let's see here. Did we talk to Jake Schultz yet? I don't think we did. Hannah, could you try to bring on Jake, please? And then while you're waiting, there's a simple question from Gabriel Tepang. He said, are you doing all wholesale deals or do you do any subject to lease options or seller financing?
We strictly just do wholesale. My background, I've flipped over 50 houses, and that was a pain in the butt. And I kind of got burned out. Again, I'm all about just going fast and getting things done, but I was overwhelmed, so I transitioned literally full-time wholesale and shut down the fix and flip business and whatnot. And there's a challenge in both niches that you do, but wholesaling was like, after I co-wholesaled like 2 properties with another wholesaler, and I saw the income, I was like, that's what I make in fix and flip. Like, why am I spending 6 months and I can do it in like 30 days, you know? And so I focus on wholesale. It's not right or wrong what you're doing, but pick one lane and then just go.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to hear you say that, because it's been the reason why I've never done anything but a buy and hold until I reach my goal of 20 properties. I've got 9 now.
Yeah.
But even if I had a deal, like, you know, figuring out how to do the subject to or how to do the XYZ thing, it really just takes a lot of mental capacity, when I think there's just, you want to get to a critical mass where you don't have to think about it and it's systematized, and then go figure out something else, because you're ready for you're ready for that other exit strategy that can bring additional growth for you.
Yeah. So here's one analogy. Hopefully this makes sense. It's like, imagine like working out for the first time, right? The next day you're going to be sore. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, right? It gets easier. Next thing you know, the habit's built. And then you're not even thinking about it anymore. You're just doing it naturally. That's the level you want to get into and pick a lane. But at the same time, if you want to transition and do something else, that's fine. But put almost like a deadline or a target. Like, let's say I'm going to wholesale, you know, all 2020. And if I hit this goal, I'm gonna learn more about the subject too.
Right.
For another year on that. You're not giving up on the wholesale, but now you're doing it so easily. It doesn't require your mental power anymore. You can then transition into subject to whatever strategy you want. Does that make sense?
Yes. It's the same thing when somebody wants to do wholesaling, but they're trying 5 marketing styles. You know what I mean? A lot of times they don't get any results because they spread $300 of marketing a month across 5 different things. And that's not enough of any one thing to get a result, you know, and not enough to.
You spread out too thin. Again, like, imagine, you get burned out that way faster. So I stick to, the only thing I have right now is DealMachine postcards and cold calling. And, you know, it's one or the other. I have to make sure I focus my time in.
So Jake Schultz is in the participant panelist list, but I don't see his video yet. And I'm wondering, Jake, can you hear us?
He says he doesn't have a mic or a camera.
Bummer.
We need the mic.
He wants to join, and it does show that he's now not muted, but he doesn't have anything to talk through. He's on his desktop.
Oh.
But Jake had a really good question, and
he did.
He's on our lives a lot, so I'd like his question to get answered.
Okay, type in a question.
Said, hey TJ, I'm excited to listen and learn from you today. I'm relatively new to wholesaling. I just closed 4 deals last week. I'm really excited to grow and 10x my business. Could you give me some advice on scaling your business? How to get more deal finders, hiring VAs, and growing overall?
Okay. Since you closed 4 deals last week, I would say take ramen budget, put that aside, and then the rest into your marketing funnel. So you have to choose what marketing avenue are you going to choose. Are they going to be cold calling or DealMachine driving for dollar postcards? So pick 1 or 2, but don't spread out too much, and then just go all in, right? Just go all in. There's no guarantee on the back end, but you already know the system works. You already know the deal will come, right? You already believe in that. So therefore, just honed in to one direction or 2 and just commit. Again, go into a freaking top ramen budget because you got to feed your business before you.
I hope that helps, TJ. I'm sure that you have more questions. We will get them answered. Keep joining the daily lives that Elise does every day. It sounds like that you've gotten some help there, and we've built a relationship with you. We really appreciate that, and can't wait to see you next time. let's see here on the next person. Ross Dillon says TJ equals motivated.
There you go. Keep
You
it up.
You get Costco pizza during your motivation meetings?
I do. We load up. Yeah, our office is right next to a Costco, so cheap,
Hilarious.
cheap feeding. Good food though. Good food. We like it. Yeah.
Do you give your drivers? Do you have any? In DealMachine, you've got like the admin permission, full access permission, and deal finder permission.
Yeah.
I was wondering. So Karen Corrigan wants to know: do you assign anyone to your full access team members, like to do like QA or approve the deals or something like that?
Yeah. So again, my top producers have access to the properties. I've built that trust enough that I trust them to look into some of these deals or review it. But I think I have like 2 or 3 full access admin to where they can see the properties, look at the postcards and whatnot. I don't, I always let them know like, hey, don't make any changes without me approving it first, but they can at least see and how the system works.
Mm-hmm. Brian Dirkhoop asks if there's a way to see vacant houses. There's not currently. Thought I would answer that real quick. But that is a requested feature, and we've got this feature request page. It's a menu option where people submit those. You can actually see everything that everyone submitted, so we're working on that because we see that. Let's see. Oh. A lot of these you've answered already, so I'm scrolling past them.
Okay.
So Bill Brum Below says, I'm in North Alabama. The county has about 360,000 residents. So like, how many drivers do you think he should get?
I mean, depends how much volume you can handle when it comes down to it. Because you could have, 50 drivers and they're lazy and they're not adding any properties. I mean, it's wasting your time, right? And lagging the system. Find 3 or 5, motivated drivers and share them, your vision and where they can be as well. And I tell you, once they get it, like you don't even need to tell them to go drive. They're going to go do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Find the good ones. We've actually deleted a few on our team because they haven't added a property, and now I'm requiring them to add at least 2 properties a month to like stay active. And if they don't, we'll kick them out.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. We don't want to lag the system,
No. So I've got a question from Karen Corrigan that I hear a lot. She's asking about owner types. And so once and for all, I wanted to clarify this. Do you only add absentee owned properties, or have you done deals that were owner occupied?
Everything. Owner occupied, vacant, foreclosure. You don't know who's going to sell. At the end of the day, you don't know what their, cause and motivation. So first we filter it by the required filter that we're looking for, distressed property. You go, that's number 1. But, you don't specifically try to find an absentee or vacant or foreclosure. Just find that distressed home. I mean, that person could be a millionaire. Just don't give a thing about the house.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. You're looking for distress. And if you're using highlight properties, the best filter I recommend is, has it been sold over 2 or 5 years ago? That way it'll show you stuff that hasn't sold in a little while. That is my best way. Do you guys use the highlight properties feature at all?
Yeah, I've used it a few times,
Okay.
filtered a few of them in there. It's kind of addicting, to be honest with you. You just want to click on everything, but
it does.
You go look at it.
Thank you for the great question, Karen. Let's see here.
Let's see. Pay your drivers.
Well, I could answer something for Wes Powell. He said, is there issues having pictures loaded and saved in DealMachine? We actually found this bug that we fixed about 20 hours ago. If you added a photo and clicked start mailers before the photo finished uploading, it wouldn't upload the photo. Starting the mailers would kind of cancel the progress of the photo uploading. And we actually fixed that. So you shouldn't have any other issues. Make sure you upload the latest version of the app. Okay, Ross Dillon wants to know, let's bring Ross Dillon on. And then TJ, I know you probably got to go. We're at the top of the hour.
You're good. I'm actually, this is my last part of my day. So
okay,
let's bring it, you know.
Great.
Go till midnight. Get the party on.
Yeah.
And then quick tip too, always write down your to-do list, you know, just make a list, you know, check them twice.
Absolutely.
And stay on track.
Man, I've laid awake and I couldn't sleep. And then I read this book and it says, if you write this stuff down, your brain will stop keeping you awake because it now knows it's going to be dealt with. You know, your brain's like keeping you awake, or you're not able to process effectively because your brain keeps trying to remind you of things it doesn't want you to forget. The list. It's magic. I've been doing that myself. Yeah,
it's crazy now. I sleep good when I write them down because I take it out of my head and put it on paper. I know I can remember it. But I do get up in the middle of the night when a list that I need to make sure I don't forget. I get up and write it down, and then I go back to sleep.
Hey, Ross, you're muted there.
Still muted.
I'm going to unmute you. That work?
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
There we go.
Awesome. How you guys doing tonight, Dave? TJ, it's a pleasure to bring me on.
Doing awesome. Glad to have you.
Well.
Yeah, you too, guys. So, TJ, I got this email about an hour ago from Dave, and it said, a wholesaler in a highly competitive market. And I was like, boom, that is exactly what I'm in, and that's exactly what I'm going through. I'm wholesaling in northern New Jersey.
Okay.
I started pretty much a company as per se with a business partner. I'm actually a full-time police officer, so I lack time, and he got laid off because of the whole COVID deal. So we're in northern New Jersey, super expensive, super competitive. It's very similar to Seattle. So pretty much, what do you do when you're starting to hire drivers? Because he's pretty much driving for me. We're doing cold calling as well. How do you hire drivers? What are their qualifications? You know, what were a couple things you said to bring them in to get them as pumped as we are? Because we're ready to kill this, man.
Yeah. So number one thing, if I was to post anything on my social media, I'm doing it live. Like when I'm driving around, I'm going to pull up my Facebook and then do a live video and talk about what I'm doing that day. Hey, I'm actually looking at this distressed house. We're looking for more houses like these. I have a team already that's a part of this process. We're looking for distressed homes. And here's what's happening. You know, we're giving them 20% of the assignment fee, and our assignment fee is roughly around X amount of dollar, and you can get a piece of that just, you know, looking for ugly houses like these. If you want to join my team, message me or click the link below, whatever. I do that, you know, on my personal page, and then I'll get people to reach out like, hey, I see you've been doing real estate, but then do that consistently, not just one time. So every time you're driving around for $1, like you're a police officer, you're driving around, like pull up your phone and go, look, I saw another house. Like I'm looking for more of that. Like if you guys see one, message me, please.
Yeah, I gotta look like I'm kind of patrolling, even though I am patrolling my eyes on all the properties around. I gotta do a little bit of my work too.
Right, exactly.
But the town I work in, that is done. Every distress thing is it's
covered.
We have about close to 1,000 properties, or maybe like 800 or 900, but we're slowing that down because now we're building our buyers list. That's the thing, because we got way too ahead of ourselves. So what do you do as far as building up that buyers list? Because 900 leads as opposed to we're up to like maybe 30 cash buyers. We got to even things out a bit.
Yeah.
That's the halt right now per se.
So go for the biggest influencers in town. So get to know the wholesalers, the realtors that are top producers, and you can track them. You can find the properties that were listed that was recently remodeled.
Okay.
So that's another tip. You can go online, type in remodeled homes that have sold in the last year, and every single one is likely working with an investor. That's your buyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Because we've been using prop a lot, and that's been helping out. But we're direct mailing, emailing, cold calling. We're trying to hit it. You know, like as you said, stay in one lane, but we're trying to attack like 2 or 3 at a time, and then maybe shift it over to text.
To be honest with you, I have not marketed to find a cash buyer that wasn't directly in connection with somebody that I knew.
Okay.
All of my deals that I have sold is somebody that was connected to my network. Because like, again, get to know your wholesalers, get to know your top producers, get to know your agents that are working with investors. Like they do the work for you. It makes things easier. And on top of that, it's relationship based. And this will happen. People will screw you over deals. But when you work directly with somebody that has a relationship with somebody else, they don't want to ruin that. And so they're likely to just, keep things straight.
Excellent. So pretty much incentivize, keep them motivated.
Yep, keep them motivated. Pay the guys that bring you buyers too. Pay them. Like the wholesale I just did, like somebody brought them to me. I knew the buyer already, but they, I missed them to show them the property, but somebody else brought them to me. So I said, okay, you're going to get compensated.
Excellent. And then after that first deal you got, what was running through your mind?
It was unreal. To be honest with you, like to get a $20,000 check, it was like, this is insane. Like I feel like I don't deserve this because I didn't really work that hard. But at the same time, it's like specialized skills, right? You make money. You make a lot of money when you have specialized skills. And so now, like, I get $40,000, $50,000 check, $60,000 check. It's like, this is fun.
Excellent. I love it. And I just one final question. When you do receive a check, is there a certain percentage you're like, okay, that goes to Uncle Sam. The other certain percentage I'm going to pay myself, the business, my employees, marketing, etc. Is there percentages that you kind of have running through your brain when you do get that check in?
Yeah, I have a spreadsheet broken down already. A percentage goes to each item line, to my team, to me, to the business, to the marketing, to the acquisition, to the disposition, to the transaction coordinator, the VAs, if they were the VA leads. It's all broken down and spread out already. Read the book, Profit First.
Yeah.
Profit First?
Yep.
All right, who's that by?
We'll send it to you, bud.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll tag it.
Get Elise. I'll have Elise reach out to you and get your address so we can send it to you.
Love it. I'm an avid reader, man. When everybody else is watching Netflix, I'm the one dorking it up, reading the fine print.
Oh yeah, you only even have to read the first half of the book. It literally tells you for the size of your business, these are the percentages recommended.
Okay.
Like for example, 20%. Like if you get $1, one percentage would be like take 20% as profit, 20 cents as profit, and then take 15 cents as tax. Save it for tax. Then you'll never be blindsided by the tax bill at the end of the year, and that's about how it works out that you know. But there's a different percentage for every size business, so that's you want to get the book so you understand it and just see the charts and everything. Yeah,
because I've heard a lot of people they see dollar signs and then the business goes underwater because they don't know how to split it up.
Awesome question, and thank you for keeping everyone safe as a police officer, especially during the lockdowns and stuff. I know that's
pretty wild right now, but at the same time, a lot quieter. So that gives me time to crack down on this on the side. So
I love that attitude.
Awesome. Here's the book. I think I found it. Let me see here.
Rob First. I'm very good at memorizing the covers. Appreciate that, TJ. You're the man. It's guys like you that keep us motivated, especially in these competitive areas. They are rough, to say the least.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, you too, man. Get motivated because that's a feedback.
Fire underneath your butt, man.
There you go. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, Ross.
All right. See you, Dave. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Reading some more questions. So Brian Dirkhoop has another question, and he's like, do you cold call the person and send a postcard at the same time?
We like, again, I was training all the top producing drivers. So when we have our mailing, obviously goes out automatically, and then the ones we prioritize is vacant, because you know the drivers tag them, right? Tag them if it's vacant, boarded up, or anything that screams to us like this is somebody that needs help now. So then we filter that and skip trace it, and then I have one of my guys that I've trained very closely with comps and how to talk to them. He calls them and whatnot. So that's kind of what I'm trying to grow as well. Is I'm trying to grow my acquisition sides of the guys that are like, you know, very motivated to learning more.
Awesome. I noticed that Pamela said this was the first time hearing about Elise's daily lives. So it's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DealMachine at 2 Eastern every day. And let's see. Travis Cohen, is he on your team?
Yeah, he's one of my team. Yeah.
Okay, he was asking, is anyone else here from TJ's team besides me? Let's bring on Travis Cohen.
Robert was here.
Robert was here. I would love to hear from another member of your team.
There you go. Love it. Travis. Can we hear him? There he is.
Hey, Travis.
Hey, what's going on, TJ? What's going on, David?
Good to see you. Yeah,
you too.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I love this great community you have.
Oh, thank you. It's all due to TJ.
Love it. How often, Travis? How do you know TJ?
So, long story short, when I was going to trade school to be a merchant marine at the time, around in 2018, I actually did research on TJ, like, you know, look up how you look up properties. That's the same thing I do with TJ. There was a house in particular I was looking at that I wanted to buy because I was in wholesaling, and I actually messaged his phone number, and, you know, he's like, hey, how'd you get this number? How did you find me? I was like, oh, you know, I looked you up through the county website assessor and found out this is where you work, yada, yada, yada. So he's like, all right, well, if you're serious, go to this place. So he sent me to this place, and, you know, it went off from there. And then ever since then, we've been close friends. So
that's amazing. What got you into real estate? What got you interested in this? And why do you do it?
Truth be told, for the longest time, ever since I was like, did my first job, I realized that working a 9 to 5 is not what I could see myself doing, nor could I ever see myself actually elevating to the success I want to have in my life and get to where I want to be later down the road. So I realized sooner than later that this was not going to get me there. So, but real estate is something I've always wanted to do. And I think as an investor entirely, that's truly just what I want to do, is just invest. And, you know, if it's real estate, food, vending machines, whatever it is, I'm always looking to do something new and try it out.
Yeah. And it sounds like TJ's willingness to like teach you is
yeah. TJ has definitely taught me a lot. He taught me how to run numbers. And from what I've had already gathered on my own, you know, I was studying wholesaling on my own. So helping him out and partnering up with him was actually the best thing that's ever happened to me so far. And when I did my first deal, I was actually, you know, I was shocked because it was unreal. It was unbelievable. You know, you do all this work, and to everyone in the comment section, I'm telling you right now, do not give up no matter what. If the seller is, you know, mean, that's fine. There's plenty of them out there, but at the end of the day, do not give up whatsoever, because if you continue on, you will succeed. You never know. And I've heard plenty of success stories where people have given up, and the next day it happened. Just keep going. And
gosh, that's amazing.
TJ is definitely all about that. So We have a great, wonderful team, a great leader. It's all there. It's all there. All the information out there, it's free. It's there.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's awesome to get to talk with you, Travis. Appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Travis.
All right.
There, TJ.
TJ, I just thought of something that I need help with. Can you help me with the deal?
Yeah.
All right, check this out. Let's see. How do I share my notes screen? There we go. All right, can you see my notes?
Okay, let me put this here. Yeah.
All right. So I got this lead today. His name's Ron. He also goes by Ronald. We had a great conversation. We built a lot of rapport. I found out that his favorite food is T-bone steak, well done.
Yeah.
Used to be a butcher, but he didn't like the pigs because they squealed. Let's see. He's lived in his house for 48 years, been married for 51 years. About 10 minutes into this call, I finally asked him about his house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And first he said he owes $68,000 and he needs $5,000 to move. And then later in the call, he says, well, he needs at least $50,000 to walk away. So I don't actually know if he owes anything. But basically he gave me his address and his estimate's like $45,000.
Okay.
He owns 2 properties. This one's vacant. But how would you approach this? How would you tell him, hey man, like you're gonna have to it's not worth $50,000 most likely. How do you break bad news? It's always tough for everybody, especially when you like the person you're talking to.
Yeah. So I would talk to you. This would be a role play. You'll be Ronald, right?
I'll be Ronald.
You be Ronald. You talk to him on the phone?
Yeah, I talked to him on the phone.
Okay. I'm like, hey Ronald, this is TJ. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I mean, you wouldn't understand. You're not old enough to understand how difficult it is to get out of bed, but I'm happy that I'm out of bed.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, but yeah, I'm glad you're up today, and you got to enjoy the sunshine and what we got. But we're all hunkered down at home right now. But here's what I want to do, Ronald, is I'd like to help you out with your property, but it seems like our numbers are a little bit off, and we're doing some analysis in the area. Investors are paying cash in this for houses. What I want to know is, like, how can we help you out? Like, what would be the least amount that you would take that works for both of us to move forward and, get you some cash in your pocket?
Well, I would need probably no less than $45K.
Gotcha. What's your plan after you sell this house?
Well, I'm moving to Florida. I hate the weather in Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, Florida is amazing, man. Yeah, my parents live out in Florida, and it's awesome there. But how soon are you looking to get out there?
I need to sell my house by the end of May.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, man, I would like to help you out, Ronald, but that Florida weather is going to be calling you. But if I can't buy your house, what are you going to do?
I don't know. I've got to get that money so that I can close on my house I'm buying in Florida.
Gotcha. Well, Ronald, you seem like a straight up guy, so I want to be able to help you out. And just be honest with me. Do you still owe anything in this property to see if we can work something out?
I owe $45,000.
Oh, wow. Okay. How long have you had this property?
48 years.
48 years.
Oh, 48 years.
48 years. Yeah. Well, Ronald, I mean, I want to be honest with you. Investor cash buyers are buying properties in this area around the 25 to 30,000. I know that's low, but I would love to help you out. But if that numbers doesn't work, then we're gonna have to figure out what would be the other option. Whether it be I can connect you with listing your property. Maybe you can get that on the market. But to be honest with you, cash would be a better solution to get you out of Florida, enjoy that weather much sooner. What do you think?
All right. I don't know what you'd say.
I mean, like, I'm just trying to put him in a spot whether he's lying or not.
Right.
So I'm putting that pressure, but at the same time, it's like me trying to back out of the deal. Like, he's going to miss this. And so
Yeah.
I'm putting him in a hard spot to where, is he really lying or is he telling the truth?
Yeah.
Because if he's lying, he's going to feel that pressure. And he's like, oh, let me think. I was trying to do your voice now. Let me think about it, or let me talk to my wife, or the other layer is going to show up, and then I can handle that.
Yeah. That's good. That was very respectfully done as well. It was very respectfully done, because he was put into a position where he needed to reveal that himself without you calling him a liar.
Exactly.
Or just saying like, your house ain't worth shit.
Yeah. So I disclose my offer range, because it's not a solid, it's not a take it or leave it. It gives them that sense of feeling of like, I can negotiate here.
Right.
And then also I put them in a spot to said, to be honest with you, we're paying this price, but if you'd like to get more, your other option is to put it in the market. But to be honest with you, with the current condition and whatnot, cash would be better in your pocket. Right. It's all about just planting seeds as you take in like objections and just excuses or whatever you want to call them. Like, you want to uncover that. Right.
100%. Thanks for doing that. It's always good to sharpen up the conversation skills, and that's helpful for me.
Cool. Yeah, role play, man. I always tell my guys, like, role play. Talk to your friends, like, pretend they're angry. Like, there's 3 layers. There's like super motivated, ready to sell. There's the angry person, and there's the happy person that doesn't want to sell. Like, how do you handle each one of those layers?
Right. I've actually seen it boxed. There's like some diagram that's boxed that says how you should handle different personalities.
Yep.
I don't know where that was. It just popped into my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. And you gotta blend in too. Like, however the seller or the homeowner, the way they talk, the way the vibe is, you gotta match it. Like, if you're off, it's like vibration. You gotta match. You gotta sync up.
For sure. Well, I think we've answered most of the questions. I'm at the bottom of the list currently. Sydney Player is asking how many. So I struggle with some of these questions because they always want guarantees. There's not a guarantee, but consistency is the guarantee, basically. Yes. But it's helpful to still have benchmarks, and I understand that. So they're asking, how many properties would you add and cold call to get your first deal? I think she said like weekly. What would be like a good weekly goal?
Weekly goal. If you're part-time, you have a job, I would say weekly would be 100 properties if you're driving for $1. Like, that's doable, right? If you're full-time, like 250 a week, like that's also conservative. If you really focus in, and this is how I kind of try to make it more realistic to my drivers, is like, I compare it to a job, to where in a job, you work 8 hours a day. You can't touch your phone, you can't talk, and you got to work and put in 8 hours. Your life is basically tied in. So if you take that same 8 hours back and take it back and actually commit to yourself that you have to put in whatever it is, driving for $, analyzing properties for 8 hours, I guarantee you'll make more money than your job. I guarantee you. But you got to commit. And most people procrastinate, and that's just the fact.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're all human. We all have cell phones that are always dinging and alerting us that Facebook friend just posted something, cat biting a shark or something.
That's right.
That's catchy. I want to watch it, but you got to say no.
Yep. All right. So what can we leave everyone with? We always end these by doing a bit of a demo of sorts afterwards, and we'll do that as well. But before we do that, is there anything that you'd want to say before signing off?
For everybody to take away?
Yeah.
I would say focus on your mindset. Your mindset, I mean, it's kind of cheesy, but it's everything, you guys. That's the reason either you're not successful, either you're going through challenges, either you're not meeting your goals, is because of the mindset. The conversation up here portrays outside. So whatever you say up here will affect the rest of your goals. So therefore, work on that mindset. Really control your mind to go, what am I doing today that's really going to get me to the next level towards my goal?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing something that doesn't contribute to that, your mindset is distracted with something else. So take away with that.
Extremely helpful. Everyone, help me thank TJ for spending an hour plus with us tonight. TJ, I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. I'm sure this won't be the last time that we do something with you. We just wanted to say thank you for everything. And anybody who wants to see kind of a basic rundown of how to add team members to DealMachine, how to set up the training portal, and what that stuff looks like, we'll show that to you now. And you're welcome to say, TJ, but I understand that you may have other things going on.
Thank you, TJ.
Thank you. I love helping you guys out and keeping you guys motivated. Just make sure you stay focused. There's so many distractions in life, and this is the one thing that you need to pay attention to is your business.
Well said. Elise, would you care to join us in doing a demo with me?
Of course, David. I'd be delighted. Does that mean I need to turn on my video?
You can. Oh, check this out, Elise. Do you see my screen?
Oh my gosh!
Guys, we've got a new demo. Okay, so you touch the property you want to add. You add it to your list. You snap a picture of the property. And that's how you do it. So I didn't even have to give the demo. It's now part of DealMachine.
Oh my gosh, I just got goose pimples.
Goose pimples.
Yes. That was so amazing. Guys, it's the little things.
You got to know, guys, that Elise is in charge of customer success, making sure that you all are successful. And so she does the daily lives at 2 p.m. Eastern time to answer all of your questions. And she also advocates to us as a business and our development team in this case to do things that she knows is going to help, So she's been asking for this for a while, and it hasn't, we just had some delays in getting it up. So it was exciting for us to see that.
Well, I've got a great bosses that listen and are very open to me nagging about things. I love it. I love our DealMachine community. This is awesome. So we did just show how to add a property, but why not, you want to just show them really quick again, know big question I get a lot is what's like pin mode, crosshair mode, and tap to add. So
let's do that. You're a good job at narrating. I'll navigate.
Oh, okay. So when you're driving around, so pin mode is, are really basic if you've been with DealMachine. It's kind of the same thing, except now we have these awesome dots, so you're not just pinning into nowhere land. So you pin it, you're like, maybe I want to add it, maybe I don't. You can press at the bottom, it doesn't show on mine, but it says add property, and then you can add a picture, which you should. If you have street pick, it'll add the Google image. If you don't, you can just take a picture there.
You can see my screen, right?
Yeah, it was just the bottom bar, but you zoomed in and it kind of helped a little bit.
Okay.
And then Crosshairs Mode, this is fun to just if you're looking in a new area, I played with it today. There's a little crosshair in the middle and you just kind of, I don't even know how you call it, float over the properties just to see the information. And then when you want to add it, you can press the add property button at the bottom.
The Crosshairs Mode is best on mobile app. It's not really obvious how helpful it is right now on the desktop.
But if you're an OG to DealMachine, you'll remember that this is the way that you used to add properties.
That is true.
And then my favorite when driving is the tap to add, because Y'all, if you've ever been driving, you're like, I do not have time to tap that and press add property. I
added like 8 right now.
Yeah, you just go and you're just like, bop, bop, bop. I think I literally say that in one of my videos. I'm like, you go, bop, bop, bop. And it just makes it so much easier. I definitely would tell your drivers about that because I know that it's something that you can easily just kind of scan over.
Yeah.
But this makes it also a lot safer for you guys when you're driving.
Also, I was wondering, do you tell people about property labels very much?
I do. But I tell them what I prefer.
What do you prefer?
I prefer the property address number just because then I can quickly just be like, 2213, 223. Okay, boom, done. I don't care about their last name or anything.
Sometimes I like to get the last name on there to spy on my neighbors and see like who owns most of the street.
Oh, let's see. Is there a Johnson somewhere out there?
Well, I don't want to give away all my deals, you know.
Yeah, don't give away all your deals.
All right, so let me put that back. I actually think that the address number is the best one because it's like a good visual to verify that you're clicking the right house.
Also, big thing, enterprise members, you know, like TJ and everything, a lot of people don't realize that they do have live route tracking, but forget to turn it on. That is where you go to turn on your live route tracking, and that's where you see the green line going through the map. And you can actually, Dave, our CTO, did an awesome thing where you can zoom out even further to see like a large view of where you've driven before and where your team's driven.
Let's see, how do I do that? Oh, it's on.
I feel you have a pretty big team, so I feel like that would help you guys out a lot.
This is my demo account.
I was about to say, David, I know you've driven like everywhere.
Well, I did have some routes here though. Oh no, just one.
5 minutes. Pay 4 properties though in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Let's see. My old account. Well,
how about you go, you show about team members. That's like been a big thing.
Yeah, I want to do that. Removing the drive since it knew I didn't go anywhere. All right, so team members are over here under the More category, and you can click on Team. You can add individuals like one at a time by adding their email address. Let's see. Or you can click Collect Deal Finders. And this is the landing page. TJ, do you guys use this?
Hang on, let me pull it up.
So basically, it lets you start a landing page. It's part of the enterprise plan. And you can customize your own page that you can direct people to in order to get paid for taking of pictures of houses for you. We've kind of got this video here, but you can replace it with your own if you want to.
Oh yeah, we use that.
Okay, yeah. And then they can just kind of add themselves to your team to start adding properties.
Yep.
They won't see any other properties. They'll just see the ones they submit to you. But
yeah, it's funny. I created a text system in my team where they text driver to a phone number, and then they get forwarded with the link.
Oh, perfect. That's a great use of that, actually.
That is genius.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing for my cash buyers. Like when I post, like if you're interested of this deal, text buyer to this phone number.
Yeah.
And they automatically get opted into my buyers list, so I can text them whenever.
This is where you edit the page, guys. You can just edit any of this text here.
Yep.
And then, do you require the training videos? Do you have these in there?
Yes, I have that turned on.
All of them, or just some of them?
Require the training videos, just the training videos mainly. People are lazy from watching videos.
Sure. Yeah. So basically, guys, you can turn any of these on, and we've got like pre-done content that anyone who signs up will then need to go through. So payment, TJ does per closed deal. So when he clicks this radio button, we've got our own video about getting paid per closed deal. And then it's like, got the bullet points here that you can edit as well. Distress level video, in a high end market, you might pick distress level 3 because they're kind of nicer properties, but there's a little bit wrong with them. Do you guys use this one, TJ?
The distress level?
Yeah.
Not really. I just go off of the descriptions of the necessity of the type of properties we need to add.
Okay.
Because here's why. Is because I'm also licensed, right? I'm a licensed realtor agent, and also I have a team that's also licensed. So therefore, anybody that calls us, it doesn't matter if distress or not, we can make those as a deal. We can list it or we can wholesale it. So it's a win-win.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This one talks about how to take photos, because sometimes drivers will add like crooked photos because they actually don't.
Oh, yeah.
You're using them in your marketing. You don't want to send out postcards with a terrible photo.
Yeah. I tell my team, it's like, if you see a house, take a picture of the worst side of the house. And then also do, what was that, landscape picture.
Oh, yeah. So you could edit this list like with TJ's guidance. Just like that. And then tags and notes, like if they forget what they're looking for, have them reference the tags, because we have these tags in DealMachine. It lists everything you could think of looking for that like is an ugly house.
I was going to say, Michelle asked, can you discuss tags really quickly?
You want me to discuss tags?
Michelle, yeah, we have a question if you can discuss them really quick.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah. So if any of these properties I just added, let's see here. Property tags. What do you notice when looking at the property? Tall grass, stuffed full mailbox, could be boarded up windows. As a team admin, you can actually make your own tag, which I did about demolition without a permit, because I had a few neighbors that were doing some work without a permit, and I was just using that as an example.
So Bill says he looked up the property that you were talking about, and the owner's name is Mr. Payne, and it looks like he only has a HELOC on the property, does not owe much. So he just gave you all the information about the current mortgages.
Thank you, Bill. I got to get off this webinar so I can call Mr. Payne.
Yeah.
I think your voice that you did earlier really puts to that name too. Like he sounded like a Mr. Payne.
Well, he literally told me that I was not old enough to understand what he was going through. And that's why I said it to TJ, because it was so funny. I was like, oh, I don't know what to say.
Mm-hmm. You always got to relate back to him. And then you mentioned Florida, and that's like, you got to put some pressure on Florida. We got to get you out there, buddy.
Yeah. Robin says, are the tags available in virtual driving? Well, we do have that Chrome extension. The Chrome extension doesn't have tags to click at that exact point, actually.
But you can go and refresh your list, and you can go into them and add the tags.
That's right. Elise, what else should we show everyone before I call Mr. Payne back?
You know what? Someone was asking about analytics, about tracking that earlier. So okay. I would say either, analytics.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think analytics would be a good one to do, because a lot of people don't know too. If you get a deal, go and press get one and then put your assignment fee and you'll get an awesome ROI just like TJ.
Okay. Yeah, so here we go. Let me just take a deal here. Once I move the status to deal closed, where is that? One deal, actually. So I won the deal.
You're going to get the badge too, and there's going to be confetti.
That's right.
Oh, no confetti. It's your first one. Sorry. Womp womp.
Yeah. So you put the closing date in here, exit strategies, let's say wholesale. Let's say the initial purchase price was $30,000. And let's say the wholesale fee was $5,000. Then you can save that. And if you go back to the analytics, now it should show you your profit. Wait, why doesn't it show the profit?
You might need a refresh.
I'm getting gypped on my profits. Did I save it?
I don't know if you saved it.
I feel like there might be like a date here. Let's go back. Let's go back here. Did we just discover a bug? What was that deal?
No clue which one you picked.
One deal. Rachel, there it is. How do I edit that? I don't know if you can edit this. Options. Oh, there we go.
Oh, because you did put it for yesterday or tomorrow.
Well, I'm thinking.
There you go. There you go.
The graph doesn't show the current day. I just found out the graph only shows the day prior. So there you guys have it. That's how you can see your profits and compare it to your investments that you make.
Robin asked, does the VA have access to that after his remote drive? Yes, Robin, they'll have access to tags in their list after their remote drive.
Mm-hmm.
How do you change the modes of the app for who you bring on as a team?
Okay. Well, the deal finder, if you're inviting someone as a deal finder, they actually won't have access to anything but their own deals. Now, if you invite someone as like a full access team member, which is possible on like the professional or enterprise plans, then you can have 8 different toggle switches that says, yes, they can see property data. No, they can't export deals. Yes, they can send mail. No, they can't skip trace. So you can actually give them permissions like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What else should we show them?
You know what? I would want to get into I would go to the wonderful COVID templates that you made too. I know that things are opening up some places, but just those were really great.
Oh, thanks.
Also, so you guys know, TJ uses, he also changes the colors on his cards. He uses our default and like he said, a couple of the other ones, but he changed them to like green and stuff like that. And David put a great red on this one.
Yeah, you can change the colors.
Yeah, please change the colors.
Now it's green.
Is there a tablet that works with virtual driving, please?
Yeah, the tablet works best on, well, don't use the native app on the tablet, basically, is what I was trying to say. The native app's just for phones. You can go to DealMachine.com on your tablet, and it'll actually look great. It's designed to shape itself and work well on a tablet if you're using the website in your tablet's browser.
But Karen, you can't virtually drive for dollars on a tablet, though.
Oh, I understand the question now.
Taylor, you're added on your boyfriend's account, but I add a property. Yeah, so you're as a deal finder right now. He can switch you. It just depends on what it depends on what plan he's on. If he's on basic, you won't be able to switch. But if you are on professional, he can switch you to a partner or admin. Jake, my man Jake says, how do you choose what the postcard says?
Right here, baby. It's right here in section A, B, and C. You could say sell address to Jake. And then
I will tell you, we have.
I don't like green on this one.
Member that writes his postcards. He does just mail through us. He has had a great return. And he made his postcards were so beautiful because he took so much time to like really make them like read like letters. It wasn't just buy your house cash. And I thought that was just the coolest thing. And he says he gets so many calls. What tab is it under? Mailers. So
Oh, what is? Oh, yeah, it's under the templates. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I saw Jake already said he saw it.
Can you select his partners or share postcards or share his name? His name's Derek. Karen, I'll connect you with them. I need to be calling him anyways.
Does he use a ballpoint letter?
No, he only used postcards.
Okay.
But I use a ballpoint letter, and I got a call off of my first ballpoint letter.
Nice.
Karen, can you, okay, no, this is all new to me. How do I learn more about becoming a virtual driver in CT? Nandy, if you wanted to do your own, you can sign up for our 14-day trial and then come on my lives. I always do virtual driving for dollars, and I can show you how. We also have a lot of videos, or any of the lives that I've done are in a playlist on our YouTube channel, and you can go ahead and have me drive along with you. I do it every Wednesday for the whole time. I only drive. You must be using an agent. Michelle, this is, so David's using it as an admin. So like if you own the account, if you drive and your app doesn't look like this, it's probably because you're a deal finder. You would only have like, I think 3 icons on the side. Christopher Campbell, reach out to me through chat. I don't know if he'll actually let me share them, but I can give you kind of what he's said. Jake, I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Bye, Jake.
Catherine, yes, this is recorded. We post it the next day on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/DealMachine. John says, when you upload a list, will the postcards use Street View? That is a great question.
Yeah, if you have Street View, they will. So the Street View is something that you need to add to your account. And in settings, oh, where is that? Account. Products, Street Views, what you want to have on. It's included in your enterprise plan. But there's also a Street View setting.
Yes.
Where's the Street View setting? Oh, Street Pick. Street Pick. Excuse me. So yeah, if you have this setting on, it'll make sure every single deal in your account gets a deal uploaded. There's a little bit of a delay there, but that's what it does. Make sure you've got all those photos covered.
So John, make sure you have that enabled if you have the add-on, because that's what I do with all the virtual driving I do. I love that it is automated. I don't have to go one by one. Bill, I'm on every weekday on YouTube at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I always go over at least some things on DealMachine, answering questions. I sometimes have guests on, and I always virtually drive for dollars. I have made it to where y'all hold me accountable, adding 10 properties a day, every day. That's like minimum.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, you guys, like video, these things really wear you out. And that's why I think both of us just kind of went quiet. Because we want to make sure we bring the party.
On that note, Elise, do you think we should go to bed?
You know what? I'm wanting to watch the Last Dance documentary of Michael Jordan, and there's a Parks and Rec thing on tonight that I want to watch. So.
Oh, that's right.
You're welcome, Taylor. Karen, Desdemona is one of the members that asked a question. I was just answering her. But thank you, guys.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Elise will be on at 2 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow on our YouTube. Oh, and TJ's back.
Hey, I'm still here. I'm just listening.
Brother. We're just signing off.
All right. Sounds good, man.
Thanks for everything. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you.
Bye, guys. Good night.